And there we go. And let me share my screen and make sure everybody can see it. Right. Fantastic. Well, so were any of you in Florida last October?
I was there.
You were
Yeah.
there. Oh, how
Yeah.
lucky. What a lucky duck you are. Oh my goodness. It was so much fun, wasn't it? Um,
Yes. Indeed.
it was. Okay, well, can everybody see my screen? Thumbs up. Yes,
Mm.
good. Okay,
Yep.
fantastic.
Mhm.
So I'm super excited. Like I said, I'm honored to be in the presence of all of you
Mhm.
because you are just super famous. But I wanted to introduce you to my new extension. Oh, we have one more person join. Oh, the note taker. Sure, that's no problem. I don't mind. Okay. So I wanted to introduce you to my new extension. It's called Konsol, and it is a
Mhm.
utility-only extension. So it's furniture agnostic. So it works with anything that you put into CET. This could be SketchUp items or CIL items or any of the
Mhm.
manufacturers that come. Oh, I got even another joiner. Hold on one second. We'll let Astrid in.
Mhm.
There we go. Hello, Astrid. I hope you can hear me. Um, Okay, so like I said, it's a utility extension. So in our 2D space, it's not going to be found on the component tabs here. It's
Mhm.
only in our paper space. And what it is souped up or enhanced data fields that generate automatically the data that you've specified or that you've put into CET. I sort of liken it to like it's sort of like that special feature in that game. You're like, this is the bonus feature. So this unlocks all of the information that you have already populated within your drawing. So to give you an example, I'll sort of populate this page. So this is just a normal CET paper. We have
Mhm.
images, we have lines, we have text fields, but we also have placed the data fields that Console provides. And we have three methods in which to populate our paper with data. My favorite is like the fill paper with lasso. So I'm just going to select that and I'm going to circle the items I want to populate onto my paper. And this is the part I'm super impatient. I'm like, oh my gosh, can we just do this already? But no, we have to wait till it does its magic and it renders all the items. Um, and so what it's doing is it's saying, okay, you've grabbed these items and we're going to fill in the data fields with the items that are corresponding to that group. So going around the page, we have a 2D layout field. So that's the one down here. And this works very similar to our regular 2D view clip field. But we can change the shape of it. We can apply on our tools tab. We have, the add-ons that you can add to your view clips, black and white filter. We can change the visibility, panel view, whatever we want to do. What Console does is the group that you selected, it will automatically default to the top left corner and it will go in 1/4 inch scale. So you might have to come in here and I'm just going to adjust this, a little bit just so we can zoom in on our view clip. There we go. Get it nice and centered. There we go. Um, so like I said, it just sort of found that area that we lassoed. The next field here, this is the 3D render field. So this one is located in the data fields here. And what this does is it isolates either the item or the group of items that you've selected. So if I click onto the 3D render field, you can see in the properties box, we have it set up as group. The ones over here are set up as single. So we could put both like the group of like a typical, and then we could give the different items off to the side. Um, so then we can also, like I said, it isolates it. So if I uncheck the isolate button, what you'll see is
Mhm.
there's my drawing, right? So sometimes, if you have like a pedestal, attached to a desk, it doesn't really look good isolated by itself. So you need to like uncheck that isolate so it looks good in its own right. Each of the 3D render fields comes with its own floor, which it defaults to that white plastic floor, but you could choose to uncheck the floor or show it. You could also paint it whatever color you want. But this will not impact your floor in your CET drawing. So it's just this item individually. All right. I see lots of head nodding, so good. You're staying with me. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the other side of the paper here, I've got various just calculation fields. So these are mostly the calculation data field. So this calculation data field, what it is I'm going to click on it and let's just zoom into it. In our properties box, we can choose which column from calculations we populate in that field. So we could say this is like the company of that item. We could, pick the list price. There we go. We could change it to list price, whatever I have like what I want to choose, I can populate in that column. Even if you put something in like the comments column, you could populate that in there. So again, whatever is in calculations, you can have that populate on your page. Let's change it back to, there we go, description. Okay. So that's what these fields are here. And all of these fields are just like a normal CET data field where you can put, if you have a text style that you like to use, you can change the size, the font, all of that. Okay, moving over to the next fields here. This one here is our material swatch. And so if I click on the material swatch again, it's going to say whether it was the whole group of materials or I could change it just to a single. I'll come back to the single thing because that's kind of important to understand how all this works. But right now we have it as group. I'm going to double click on it and it'll show me um, these are all the finishes of the items that I've assigned to this page. And so this is where sometimes you're going to get, if you have a CIL item, you're going to see those hidden layers, like those AutoCAD layers are blue and pink and yellow. But this is also allowing you, if you have a SketchUp item and you've painted it with a COM fabric, that swatch for that you've painted it will come up here. And you can select to show it. You can also choose your own image. So if you have, like whiteboard is sometimes like really hard to represent with just a white swatch. So I went out to the internet and got a swatch of whiteboard or clear glass or frosted glass. All of these images are stored in your CET documents. So if I choose selected image, I could go find my JPEG and then it would be stored in my CET doc. So any drawing, I could come and access these other custom images. But so for this one, it looks like I've got the gray piece. So I'm going to select that gray fabric. There you go. And then underneath the fabric swatch here, I have the option data field. So the option data field allows us to pick some of the specification options that we've selected for the items. So in this example, I've loaded those 4 pieces onto this paper. So the first column will show you the 4 part numbers that are on the paper. The second column is sort of the options that I have specified for said option. And I mean, for this one, they're all the same option, but are with different colors. But I can say, okay, they want to say the fabric. So I'm going to click the button for fabric and say okay. And so the word fabric shows up there. On the next one, I want it to say that dolphin color. So I could say fabric dolphin. Great. And it's going to show whatever option. Again, this is all whatever you use. Each manufacturer is different. So sometimes you may not like what they have to say or how they have to like call out what the options are. If you run into that situation, what I do suggest to users to have on the side of your template or paper, just some regular text fields with, you can edit these with whatever text you want to say. But they're all formatted correctly, so you don't have to worry about all that nonsense, right? Okay. You could, let me, one more thing to mention about that. So what you can also do is you could group and have a whole chain of option description in your text box. So if I said, okay, now if I expand that out, you can print the whole option string if you want. Okay. So I think that sort of covers mostly what the data fields there are. I do want to point out, so when Console is doing its sort of magic behind the scenes, what it's doing is it's assigning, in developer terms, what we call an object index to the page. And so I like to encourage users to take this list data. So that's what this field is over here. I like to say, okay, take the list data, put that off to the side, because what that's going to indicate to you is what the object index number that Console's assigned to the parts. So in this example, if I click on this first one, you'll see in the properties box, this is object index number 1. That goes to object index number 1. 2, 3, 4. So when I populate the paper, it's going to populate in the list that it generates there. If you wanted to change those around, like for example, if you wanted to show the tan one up here, you could change that to object index number 4, and it would show the 4th item in our list data. Is that making sense? I see a good nod. Nod, nod.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any questions so far? I've thrown a lot at you. No? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have a question, Vera?
Um, uh, for you have to set up this paper space or this page first before um selecting your object. So if you have like four items, so you have to set up your paper with four items with the
Mm-hmm.
four I mean, those four items have to be in that paper so that when you select your item in the drawing, it will automatically populate to that page.
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
see where you're going, and so
Uh-huh.
okay, I can answer that. So yes. So in Console, what you can do is you can save all of these papers as a template. When you get the
Oh.
extension, it actually comes with 5 papers already in there, templates,
Mm.
and these again are stored in your CET documents. And so if you create a template for the team, you can send out that file, they can put it in that folder, and then everybody would be able to pull down that drop down list and select their paper. Okay, so but following more on that. Yes, so this one's been set up to hold 6 items. And so I could either use the fill paper with parts and I could select 6 items. Or, let's go to say, I've got here, this is a typical sheet that I've sort of set up.
Uh-huh.
And so you could show the list of those items here. You could also have, like an individual, and then, yeah, you could pick what 4 items or maybe what 3 items you want to show. It's really,
Uh-huh.
totally customizable. You don't feel like you're locked down to only being 4. If you create a
Oh.
page with like this one has like 12 items or 9, 9, so I could sort of do a
Uh-huh.
bill of materials. And select that. We also have generate multiple papers. So this one's kind of awesome because what I can do is I'm just going to do this with an individual to show you how it works. So I have a cut sheet. This is a single item cut sheet. And I'm going to say generate multiple papers. And so I want to do, let's see, that we'll do 1, 2. We'll just do 1, 1, 2. I have to actually click the button there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so 3 items. I have on this template that I have selected in my dropdown, 1 item per page. So what it's going to do is it's going to generate 3 papers. If I had
Okay.
6 items per page and I said, objects per page is 6 and I selected 7 items, it's going to give me 2 papers. It's
Mm.
going to put 6 on the first paper and then it's going to give me another paper for that 7th item. But let's do this. Let's say 1. We'll say, okay. do, do. Now we're going to lick and wait and let it think about life and do its magic. Okay, so what it's doing is it's saying, okay, I have this cut sheet, that's my template, and you can see down here in my paper space, it's generated 3 pages from the 3 items that I selected. So the first one, oh, I know, it's damn sorry, it's rendering. My apologies, CET. Okay, so there's the first one, here's the second one, here's the third one that come on. Ooh, there you go. Click, select. So we've got, does that make sense? Like how that's how
Yeah.
that generate multiple papers works. When you are building a template such as this one, what I suggest is using, there's this link data tool. And so if you have your paper and you've placed all your data fields, so you can see I've got my material swatches, before you save it as a template, what I encourage users to do is you use the link data and then we can go like this. We can just select all of those data fields and we can say object index one.
Um,
Great. Go
the,
ahead.
the screen. Are you sharing your screen?
Did it stop?
Oh.
Hold on. Also, oh my goodness. Let's do it again.
Okay. Yeah.
You good?
Yes.
Okay. We can see my screen. Good. So, with the link data, so what we would do is we would say, before if we're creating a template, we'd say link data, we'd select the
Mm,
fields that we want to be object index one. Great. And then we would do the next one, select these guys, and we would make this object index two. There we go. And so on and so forth. So you'd number the items and then you'd save that as a template. And so then the next time you bring this in and you select your items, they will all fall into the right place. Cool. Um,
yes.
so I wanted to go back to this, let's see. I got a good example that I want to show for the list. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, so a couple items too. So this is like a typical page that I would create for, say, a conference room. And I've got my list over here, and you can see like I've got, 15 items, but I also, like most of those items are that conference room chair. So one of the things you can do is, well, you can do it a couple different ways. So if I pick fill with lasso, and I go find my conference room, there we go, and I select, it'll populate the paper just like it's shown. Ah, man. Do, 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 do. Okay, there we go. And we have all those items. So one of the ways that you can get rid of all those duplicates is you can click on the list data and I could say custom list and I could say remove duplicates. Ah, now we've got any item that had the same options and the same part number,
Mm,
it's going to get rid of that item. The other way that I could do that before I even put it on the paper is when I fill with lasso, up in the properties box, I could check the remove duplicates before I populate my paper. And so then I would select it, it would populate, and it would remove all those chairs. I mean, we already did it in the list, but it's going to do it again. All right. So once your paper is populated, um, then what you need to do is you need to tell CET or you need to tell your paper, okay, so now I would go through and I would select the finishes that I want. Maybe there's my gray, a veneer, and you would go and pick and tell the swatches. So there we go. Um, this one I've already done. It sort of holds that data until I say clear paper with data or clear paper data, and then it would go back to reset it. Um, and then in the 3D, maybe I could, get that shored up a little bit better. If you don't like the rendering that it's doing currently right now with console, we have contour, quick, normal, and high, which are, in my personal opinion, not my favorite. So very soon in the next couple months, I'm hoping to release a feature where product lighting will be also, so you don't have to get it from Photo Lab. It's just you just would pick product lighting and it would render in product lighting. But for the next couple months while we're waiting for that feature, you could also, again, just like the material swatch, you could go pick your JPEG, or there's nothing stopping you from actually going. You could go onto the Tools tab, and if you have Photo Lab renderings, you could insert them from that function too. It would automatically generate it, but you could grab it. Um, I don't mean to backtrack here, but back to the actual list view. One of the features that we sort of added last year was like with article view. Article view is just horrible in my opinion. Don't tell configure I said that. But we can change options. We can say, 1, 2, 3, ABC. We could put it in various columns. But this is my favorite part. If you don't like the list or the data that's there, we could always double click on it. And what that does is it sort of explodes it into a text box. And so now I can edit the text for whatever maybe I don't want the dimensions in there. So I could get rid of those. Maybe I need to reorder it, what have you. So that I love that feature. I love that you can totally explode it and make it what you want. If you do that, I just want to point out that you should, if you're going to refresh the paper or add new items to the page, you'll need to place another list data field because you've exploded this one. So it kind of
So it breaks the link.
it breaks the automation. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it is customizable, but yeah, so you've kind of exploded it.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, One other sort of a minor thing I want to point out is, I've spent years and years teaching designers, hey, use blocks. They're amazing. They're very functional. And then I created an extension that doesn't work with blocks. Go me. Uh, so if you have a drawing and you come out and you select a block, you're going to get this warning. Console isn't compatible with blocks. Good job, Kaylee. Oh my goodness. Um, it's never fear. Don't explode any of your blocks. And then with the new product lighting feature, this is going to be working. It'll be functional, so you can select blocks. In the meantime, if you need to select a block, all you need to do is go into block edit mode. So go into block edit mode, come into your paper, and then populate your page. Oops, I didn't get the other chair. But um, that's so you can select blocks. So you just would need to go into that block edit mode. Um, Only very short time. Give me a month. It'll be there. Okay. So, but with that said, so console, like I said, it's very simple. All it really is those automated data fields. You can save your templates. You can insert them via the drop-down list. I think I might have covered most everything. Oh, we have summary data. So if you are doing sort of a price type sheet, the summary data, what that does is it pulls all the data that's in your summary down here, and that it even if you come through and you change this to like design time or whatever, you'll be able to pull the text and the amounts from there. So that's kind of the only sort of outlier there that's a little different. But again, up in our properties box, we could we could we could change the information that's provided. All right. Any questions? Comments? Is this something that you guys could use?
Yes, definitely.
Abigail's shaking her head. She's like, "Do you know how much copy and pasting I'm doing, Kaylee? Like, do you know how many
Yes.
finish images I've gone out to the internet to go grab?"
It's true because it's I appreciate that console automates all the redundant tasks that we
Yeah.
creating spec sheets. So this is really gonna be helpful for us and with our
Yeah.
clients.
Yeah. And I want to point out, like, it's not just for your lookbooks. I mean, I know you guys do a handful of those, but even in install drawings and whatnot, I took this was a customer that sent me sort of one of their install sets, and I still used their elevation. Actually, that prompted we might be adding a feature for console for elevate automatic elevations, which would be cool too. But this is their view clip that they used, you know, their key plan, but then I just automated where they put their finishes. I automated the 3D. So it is great for cut sheets and whatnot, but you can also use it pretty pretty much for a lot of the other fields that you might see on some of your install drawings. So it's available out there on the good old marketplace. So you guys can, there's a 30-day free trial. So it's under the tools section way at the very bottom. And you can go out and it'll say free trial. And so you could go get the free trial. Make sure to run your CET updates so that it loads. And then remember, don't say, "Oh, Kaylee, I don't have it," because it's not going to be out here. It's only in that paper space. Um, it's only going to be located there. Also to note, if you do have questions or feature requests, I love feature requests, especially from you guys. But if just hit that support button, that email goes directly to my inbox. So if I don't respond, you know how to get a hold of me, and you can say, Kaylee, you're ignoring me. And then tutorials, that takes you straight out to the YouTube channel. There's about 9 videos. They're about like a couple minutes each. And they, in like 20 minutes, you can be a console expert. And then, yeah, resources at the website as well. So, all right. Wow, I think I did it with 5 minutes to spare. I talk fast. I'm sorry. All right. Any questions? Comment?
Hi,
Yeah,
Keely. I have something to share.
sure.
We actually tried this one with our previous projects, and I tried it with Steelcase group work training table, and I don't know, for some reason, it didn't. The lasso tool or the fill paper from parts didn't capture or didn't uh read the group work table. So I don't know if it's just a
You said
glitch or
group works table? The group works.
yeah,
Okay.
still case.
Yeah, I will test those out. And yeah, send me that information. I'd love to hear. I mean, there's a lot of furniture out there. Um, and I try to
Yeah.
get to
Yeah,
a
sure.
lot of it. There is one thing that uh, when the new block feature comes out in a couple months, you will also notice. So, for example, like a height adjustable table. Let's see if I can replicate this. No, 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 no. This might be a good one because I think it has a base and a top. Let's. So I have noticed, and like I said, the block feature might fix this functionality. But and okay, let me go back. I just want to check the item. If I query it, oh my goodness. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's a really bad example because it only is one part number. Okay, but what I can probably still use this as an example. So, what I have noticed is there are some items that have in CET, it's like a parent-child relationship. So when you like snap something to like a power strip to a table, like a GroupWorks table, right? Um, it will only pull like the top part number and you can't see the other part numbers. Um, I have noticed like trying to replicate it with some part numbers that used to do it before. It's not doing that now. And I don't know if that's because the manufacturer has changed the way their data is represented. Regardless, in a couple months, you shouldn't have that problem because when it selects blocks, it will get rid of that whole parent-child relationship. But yes, no, please pull that information or send me that information so I can dig into it. Yeah, that's good call out. There was something else I was going to mention with that. I can't remember. But that just make sure. Also, let's see, other bugs that you might encounter. I don't know. Oh, if you have multiple drawings open, I suggest having only one drawing open when you're saving your template because right now it like jumps to your drawing one or it jumps to the other drawing. And it'll save the paper that's in that drawing. And you're like, no, I want this paper to be saved, not that one. So that's one of the bugs that I've encountered. Goodness gracious, I wish I could remember what that was that I was going to tell you. But yeah, so just if you do see that, let me know. Steelcase has it, we had a problem with all steel for a little while too, and they had that whole parent-child. We couldn't get any options from anything that Steelcase, and it was because they didn't have the XML data. They had the SIF data, but they didn't have like the box checked for XML data. And what Konsol's doing is it's grabbing XML data. So sorry, that's a little nerdy, but yeah, no, I would say, it's going to grab about 98% of your data right now and help to automate it. But yeah, we're still tweaking and finding out, manufacturers that we need to contact or, sort of workarounds in order to get down to the nitty gritty parts and pieces. Yeah. Did Alyssa, or did someone else have a question? I saw. Yeah,
Hi
Alyssa,
there.
go
Uh,
ahead.
we tried, as you mentioned, we tried this on larger projects when we are exploring the extension. One of the concerns we encountered was the multiple materials that pop up when we lasso large scale items.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to recognize which material is which since we were only shown swatches.
Yes.
Uh,
So what I recommend for that, because yes, as you are fully aware, there's like 500 shades of government gray. And when
mm-mm,
you have to get down to the nitty gritty and find that one, what I
mm,
recommend for that is that when you have a ton of finishes on your page,
mm,
change your material swatch to single. And when you change it to single, what you can do is say, I only want to see the finishes for number 4. And so you can say, I only want to see, object index 4. Click on that finish and it will narrow it down. It'll say, oh, these are the only 3 finishes for object index 4. I have had requests like, oh, Kaylee, why can't you put that's black and that's like walnut? But there are very, very few manufacturers that actually link the JPEG or the GM file to the name or the swatch in CET. And so
mm,
globally, I can't really do that for console. So that's sort of my workaround way to do that. So yeah, just limit it down to a single item, and then you can pick that finish. That's a great point out. I've heard that one before. Yes, I know. So many finishes. All right. Okay. Well, guys, happy New Year. And please reach out again if you have any questions. And then if you decide you want to get console for more people and you want me to do another demonstration, I'm absolutely happy to do that. You could also send me your paper that I could demonstrate with, or send me a drawing that you're working with, and you're like, well, how do I do this, Haley? I'm always up for a challenge. So Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you for
No
taking the
problem.
time.
Yeah, and
Yes, thank you.
yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get to see John Anthony, but I will send him, and I'll send all of you the recording of today's meeting, and then we'll be in touch. And all right, take
Yes,
care.
thank
Have a
you.
good rest of
Thank
your
you.
week.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
bye,
You.
guys.
Bye-bye. Good evening.